I am the only reason why this is happening to me. Recently, I've been feeling a strange sense of comfort in knowing that I am responsible for everything happening in my life right now. I used to be the type of person who just floated through life passively, doing only what was necessary. I remember exactly when it started to change. It was my sophomore year of high school, the year before I had quit cross country after running all throughout middle school. That wasn't really a surprise. I never really liked running. I liked the idea of running, but I was pretty overweight as a kid, so it never was something I was actually good at. After quitting, I realized I didn't have anything outside of school that I was proud of. Whenever people first met me, they always assumed I played football just because of how I looked. So I decided, why not actually join the football team? For me, this was a huge step. I had zero football experience. I didn't even watch football. Honestly, I still don't even watch sports today. This isn't some movie where the inexperienced kid becomes the star player. That never happened. This is simply the story of me proving to myself that I was capable of trying something difficult. And in doing that, I gained a whole new level of respect for myself. One thing that surprised me about football was just how much strategy goes into it. Even things like strength and agility are a part of that strategy. Without them, you can't execute. So I learned how to properly train, not just going downstairs in the basement doing 30 dumbbell curls at a time and calling it a workout. I learned how to actually improve. Fast forward to today, that sense of responsibility I started developing back then has turned into something I am incredibly grateful for. I've only been at my engineering job for a little over a year, but I genuinely believe I am capable of learning anything that someone with 5 years of experience knows. And I don't mean that from a place of arrogance. I don't think that I already know those things. I believe I am capable of learning them. That's a huge difference. It's interesting because I know people my age who seem like they've stopped learning. Right now, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but learning compounds, just like investing. I don't think success comes from learning huge amounts all at once. I think it comes from consistently learning over long periods of time. And that brings me back to radical responsibility, because responsibility isn't just about your career, it's about your health, your finances, your relationships, and your mindset. Understanding that you are the number one reason your life looks the way it does, whether that's good or bad, is one of the most freeing ideas I've ever experienced. It builds confidence, it helps you figure out your next step, and it helps you understand where today's decision will lead you years from now. So, what can you do if you feel like your life has become stagnant? The first thing I'd recommend, learn something that's completely outside of your comfort zone. For me, that was football. I was always the nerdy kid. Football was completely outside of my skill set, but it forced me to grow in ways I never expected. Another skill I think everyone has a responsibility to learn is personal finance. Most Americans don't have a solid understanding of money. You should know how to open a brokerage account. You should understand your 401k. You should know what an index fund is. And you should understand compound interest. If you don't know what those things are, go look them up. That's exactly how I learned. I watched YouTube video after YouTube video until eventually everything clicked. Today, I've built an investment portfolio that I'm genuinely proud of. The next lesson, it's okay to ask for help. Eventually, everyone reaches a point where they get stuck. When that happens, you have two options. You can keep struggling on your own, or you can ask someone who knows more than you. But there's the important part. Ask people who actually have the experience. Ask people who understand the problem better than you do. Those are the people who can help you break through the plateau. Now, here's something that might sound contradictory. Sometimes you have to trust yourself. Sometimes doing things on your own is actually a better option. I remember writing essays in middle school and high school. Every assignment went through 5 or 6 drafts. I stayed up until 10 o'clock one night just editing a paper that was due the next day. Eventually, I realized something. Every time I asked my parents to edit my essays, we'd spend hours changing words, only to change them back again later. They were trying their best, and I appreciate that, but they didn't have the same background as my teachers or classmates. So eventually, I started asking people who actually understood writing: teachers, friends, peers, people who could give feedback that genuinely made the paper better. The lesson wasn't to stop asking for help, it was to ask the right people. And finally, push through the hurdles. This past year alone, I faced countless situations where I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. But every single time I worked through one of those challenges, I came away with the same realization: I'm capable. Not because I already know everything, but because I can learn. That's the difference. Anyone can accomplish incredible things. They just have to be willing to learn the skills first. Learning has become one of my core values. When I truly understand something, it sticks. I'll revisit ideas years later and still remember the fundamentals because I focused on understanding them, not memorizing them. So if you want to get the most out of your life, take responsibility. Learn a skill that scares you a little, and ask for help when you need it. Know when to trust yourself and keep pushing through every plateau. You don't have to be the best at everything, you just have to keep learning. Over time, those small improvements compound into a completely different life. I'd love to hear your thoughts. How have you taken radical responsibility in your own life? What are your dreams? And how close are you to finally achieving them? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.